Losing a child is every parent's worst nightmare, so how do you cope with it? What do you do and who do you turn to? Well, joining me today to share their story are parents John and Anne Buggy, whose son Adam died tragically, aged 21, and also joining us in studio from Anam Cara is Sharon Vard. You're all very welcome. Sharon, I'll talk to you in a second, but first, Anne and John, thanks very much for coming in, number one. And you lost your son, it's not even 2 years yet. Was it last February, John?
Yes, he was killed tragically in a road accident last February.
When he was coming home from a...
He was coming home from
the arts ball.
He was a student in UCC. He was almost finished. He was in his final year.
Yeah. And obviously the shock of that, even hearing on the night, Anne, must have been unbelievable.
It's the suddenness. It was just so sudden. It's so tragic, and I had been speaking to him 15 minutes beforehand, so it's like unreal.
It's still obviously extremely raw. It probably still feels nearly like yesterday, does it?
Every day is tough, every single day, because he's a part of you. He's a part of us, and always will be.
Yeah.
Always.
For such a young guy, though, he was kind of looking forward into his future, and after he died, you found out that he had left wishes. Mm-hmm. If he had died suddenly, which is strange for such a young guy, isn't it?
I think we were talking to his friends, and you know, the students sit at night and they talk, and they told us afterwards, he just said, if, you know, when I die, I want to be cremated, which we wanted to anyway. And he said, I want my ashes scattered to the four corners of the world.
They say things like that.
They
to
say
their
things,
friends, but they, you know, not that they wouldn't say to you, they wouldn't dream of saying them to you, but they would say that to each other, you know.
But you took those wishes extremely seriously.
Yes. I mean, he loved to travel, and so did we. So it was like, we can't stand still anymore, we have to keep moving. So I think it's part of him helping us just to keep moving and just scattering him.
So you've taken his ashes to different places. Where have you gone?
We started in Bologna in Italy. We scattered him from a Chinese lantern, attached him to it with all our friends.
And let some of his ashes go out over
Tralee Bay.
We've climbed Mount Brandon.
We've been to Germany,
Spain,
and a roller coaster ride in Alton Towers.
But basically, any place that we can go that has, you know, friends of ours have been very good to us. They've allowed us to use their apartments, and we've opportunities that have come to travel, and we always, if we take them, we make a point of scattering.
And do you feel when you scattered that extra bit of ash, of his ashes, do you think that it helps you, that the grief lifts a little bit, or how do you feel at that moment when you do that?
It's a mixed kind of emotion. You know, you feel you're granting his wishes. You also feel that you're letting some more of him go. It's hard to describe. I think we're doing what he wanted us to do, but also we're doing something for ourselves.
Yeah.
No.
Well, Sharon is here with us as well from Anam Cara. How did you guys hear? Anam Cara is the support organisation for people like yourselves. How did you find out about Anam Cara?
A friend of ours in the very early days after Adam died had cut an article out of a newspaper, and she had basically given it to me, but I was in such a state of shock that I was totally unaware. I think she put it into my pocket, and a few days later I found it, and I read it, and it spoke about the online presence of Anam Cara, and how you could just, because when you lose a child, you're incredibly lonely. It's the loneliest place in the world, I think, and you're very afraid. You don't know, because nobody really understands unless they've been in your position. So we went online, and I went online first and just investigated it, and found that there was, in fact, a huge amount of people that were not only in my shoes but further down the road, and you know, you can post whatever you want to post up on the site. It has
forums and all that, so you can talk to other people like yourselves, which I suppose at the time you probably feel you're the only people in the world who is going through this, and there are so many others, and I'm sure it helps that you all kind of can share your experiences.
And I think a very important part of it is you can enter as an anonymous presence, so you don't, you know, you can go in at your own pace into it. You don't even have to use your real name or anything. You can just, you can gently become a part of an Anam Cara.
Now, Sharon, of course, tragically, of course, with Adam, but you lost your little girl.
I lost my little girl, Rachel, 7 years ago now.
Brain tumour, was it?
It was an inoperable brain tumour.
So obviously you're ahead of them in the sense of time-wise, so you're maybe that little bit more healing down the road. But how is it for you even still?
I would say yes, I'm certainly in a different place too, where John and Anne are now 7 years down the road. But I think that's what Anam Cara does. It sort of introduces parents to other parents who are a little further, you know, ahead in their journey, and gives parents hope that they are going to make through.
Now, you're one of the
those turbulence.
founders.
I'd be one of the founder members, yeah.
Now, Anam Cara, for anyone who doesn't speak Irish, means soulmate. How did you decide to set this up, and why Anam Cara?
Well, a group of parents were meeting, you know, who had come together after the loss of their own child. This was back in 2005, 2006. And when we realised that there was no group, no support group out there for newly bereaved parents, that's what spurred us on. And then when we launched in 2008, I mean, the amount of parents that contacted us, but in particular parents like John and Anne, whose son had who died very suddenly, unexpectedly, because there is no real support out there, because they're not, you know, within a hospital or a hospice system. So there was a huge need for Anam Cara, and you know, and give somewhere for parents to go, you know, either to go online or to maybe come to one of our meetings, or we also do bereavement talks and that.
How many places do you have around the country? If you're not online, say for example people that mightn't be so au fait with the internet and all that, I mean, can you physically go somewhere?
Yeah, we've 9 support groups, including one support group in Northern Ireland that is around the country. And we also, at this time of the year, we will facilitate, and in the spring, we will facilitate talks for bereaved parents at different locations. So I think currently there's about 15 of those locations, you know, and they're all on our website, and the information we update.
Okay. Now I want to mention this because this is very important, of course.
It is.
This is Anam Cara, and it's. You tell me about this. You tell us about this.
Well, that's our
Balloon to Remember.
Our Balloon to Remember, and Anam Cara's National Awareness Day is the 2nd of November, and that's a day we've chosen to give not just families around Ireland an opportunity to remember their child, but also family, extended family and friends. So it took place last week in Tullamore, and we released thousands of balloons for the children and also for the brothers and sisters. So it's a very, very special day. It's
very good, actually. Again, of course, I suppose the most important thing is you can go straight into these meetings and talk and share. But as John and Anne said there, you can actually go onto the website anonymously and maybe post something. And maybe at the beginning of a very hard journey, maybe sometimes you don't want to say who you are.
You don't. I mean, I found even late at night that I would go online and people always come back to you that are further down the road, because sometimes you think you're going to go insane, you're not going to get through it, and somebody else will come on and say, I'm further down the road, I'm on the journey, and you will, you know, you will get there. But it is
time,
brilliant
though,
to be able to do that.
It is time, really, I suppose, in everything. Time helps.
I think it's, you know, and perhaps sometimes for men, it's a little bit harder to, you know, be seen to express your feelings, and
totally.
I think, you know, it's a way of for men to connect with each other, for fathers who have lost their children, you know. In our society, sometimes men are seen as...
You're not supposed to shed a tear or show your emotion. Okay, thank you all for coming in. Balloon to Remember. The pens that we just spoke about, these little pens, they're on sale now, and they really go to a very good cause. There are so many people out there going through this that really could be helped through organisations like Anam Cara, and it's www.anamcara.ie. And if you have been affected by what we've been talking about, Anam Cara's contact details are on the screen there now as we speak. Now, if there's something on your mind today, have you found comfort through a support organisation like John and Anne and Sharon here have? Whatever is on your mind today, do get in touch with us. We would love to hear from you. Here's how to do it.